Abanya Awolowo ti ní kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gbogbo ọmọ sí school ẹ̀ ti kó gbogbo wọn sí school gbogbo wọn ló máa jìyà. So ọ̀rọ̀ pé àwọn educated Yoruba people wá bẹ̀ sí sá kúrò Nigeria is a product of deliberate policy of the rulers of Nigeria. Deliberate policy. Kì í ṣọ̀rọ̀ unemployment nìkan. The environment became unacceptable to educated young minds. And they began to flee. Today, according to the statistics available to us, by December 2023, a total of 11 million educated Yoruba people have fled Nigeria. And in countries like the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, etc., Europe, so all over. There is no country in the world today where you will not find these educated Yoruba people. A group of people called me from a poor little country near Australia called Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea, Latin, so one bed is but now the people want that one day possibly a few of us because any country in the world. There is a country called Nepal on the side of Mount Himalayas. There are Yoruba boys and girls there. There is a country in Asia, wedged in between Russia and China, called Inner Mongolia, the most remote country on earth. There are Yoruba people there. There is a tiny little island in the Pacific called Tonga, a small nation, a small country, island country called Tonga. There are Yoruba people there. A few months ago, when one of the islands of Hawaii burst into fire and began to burn, and people were running away from the island by boat to go to other islands, there were Yoruba people among people running away from the fire. So Yoruba people are everywhere. We have been broken up. That's the truth of the matter. Our nation is being systematically broken up. And then the Fulani decided, we have achieved enough success in Nigeria. We must now have Nigeria as our homeland. We've never had a homeland. The Fulani have never had a homeland anywhere. They originated somewhere in the Middle East, migrated as nomadic people to Northwest Africa, the homeland of the Berbers. The Berbers drove them out. So they came to West Africa, to the area of the Futajalon Mountains. And from there, they began to spread west-eastwards. By the 18th century, they had gotten as far as Hausa land. Then the greatest disaster befell the Yoruba race, the black race. When the Hausa made the mistake of listening to the propaganda that the Fulani were the bearers of the purest Islam, and allowed them to take over their country. It is not they who took over Hausa land. There were too few, there were just a few. The Hausa youths themselves revolted against their own ruler. Yeah, and fought their own rulers in order to make the Fulani the leaders and rulers of their country. Now they are trying to reverse the situation. It's going to be tough. So we Yoruba àwọn Fulani wá sílẹ̀ wa large number. Under Buhari, they were encouraged to come in large numbers. Now they have become very powerful after Buhari. Why? Because Buhari stole so much of Nigerian money to give to them as their war chest. Sometimes these months, there is more money in the Fulani war chest than Nigeria has in the Nigerian treasury. It is that bad. And they have weapons depots all over the Sahel. all the way to the southern deserts of Libya, to Mauritania, and so on. They have. So we want to get out. So where is our struggle? Where are we now? We decided from the beginning, peaceful. So we decided from the revolution. In the name of that peaceful revolution, we have written a letter to the present president of Nigeria. Yes, he happens to be Yoruba, but that doesn't matter. He's president of Nigeria. We want a negotiated departure from Nigeria. Buhari said it before the international community or the United Nations, at least 2 different occasions, where self-determination is an inalienable, irremovable right of every people in the world. On one occasion, he said, it is immoral to deny a people their self-determination. So he was then asked, what about the people called Biafra, who are running around saying they want their self-determination? He said, if they would carry out their agitation peacefully through a peaceful organization, Nigeria as a country will have no choice other than to negotiate with them. That's what we are asking for now. We want Nigeria to negotiate with us. We should have it easier because the president is Yoruba, but it doesn't matter. Whether it's Yoruba or Kanuri or Ijaw or whatever, our position stands. We want our country out of Nigeria. Some people say, oh, because it's Yoruba, it won't answer us. Well, if it doesn't answer us, we will lift the level of our agitation to a higher level. We want our country. We will write a letter, detailed letter. We will write another letter to him to say, okay, since you have chosen not to answer us, we ourselves are going to take, we will get our country very soon. Going to, but these people really are serious. That's why I always beg our leaders now, let's be a disciplined leadership. No, nobody is wise now anymore. Nobody is smart. The only thing that is smart is the leadership of the Yoruba nation in the interest of the Yoruba people. And everybody must surrender to that. Whoever is not ready to operate in the disciplined leadership of the Yoruba nation, punch him. It has come that. So that's our situation. The watchword now is a disciplined Yoruba leadership. Disciplined Yoruba leadership.
Thank you, Baba. Let's go to question number 2.
With that, we cannot fail. Thank you.
Second question. Baba no Ashewami.
Baba Erobodo.
Yes, so.
Baba, more questions so that one is Madam
Question so second one, la fẹ́ so Eli Mobeshima full time láti lè kálí sọ̀rọ̀ dáadáa láti lè cover àwọn questions wọ̀nyẹn. So Baba Noah.
Yes, sir. Akin, sir, Professor. Professor, over the past 25 years, from the Obasanjo regime to the present day, has there been any politician in Yoruba land who has made significant progress and is worthy of emulation, sir?
Worthy of emulation is a very, very tough one. Emulation. Is Obasanjo worthy of emulation?
No.
Because it's not that we Yoruba are bad. It's not that our Yoruba politicians are bad. The system is deliberately created to corrupt every important person in Nigeria. Rather than get corrupted. I ran away in 1990. Because what was happening was blatantly open. They were bribing people, right, left, and center under Babangida. Babangida wrote a letter to me personally. I had a little desk in my veranda. I was reading there. One young man in a beautiful suit in a Nigerian FGN car came up to me and said, Senator Akintoye. I said, yes. Said, I have a letter for you from the head of state through the Minister of Cultural Affairs. So I took the letter and read it. The letter said, Professor Akintoye, the president of Nigeria, the military president of Nigeria wants to set up a committee to write cultural policy for Nigeria. And he has decided that you are the man who should lead that committee. And so the committee will start to meet. The president will inaugurate the committee on so date. But you will be expected to come to Lagos before then. The house you are going to live in Ikoyi is already allocated to you. As to the salary you will be earning when you get to Lagos, you will discuss that with the head of state. I knew exactly what they were doing. I knew exactly what they were doing. They were going to corrupt me. And I was not going to be corrupted. So as a young man, you're coming from Lagos? I said, yes, sir. Have you eaten today? He said, no, okay. So I asked my assistant to take him to one hotel to go and eat something. Before he came, I wrote my letter, my response. My response was just about 2 or 3 sentences. I am honored to be appointed. I feel honored to be appointed. I accept the appointment, and I will be ready to come and see the president. But I had no intention at all of carrying out any of that. I knew that if I said point blank, no, I can't accept that kind of thing, they will be after my life. So many of my people were saying, iṣẹ́ dáadáa dẹ̀ nìyẹn o, irú iṣẹ́ tó fi tiẹ̀ nìyẹn, ìwọ ló máa kíní wọ̀nyí kọ̀, nǹkan mọ̀ ní. I didn't let anybody know that I didn't. But I then began to work to get out of Nigeria. And I got out. That was 1990. And when I was living in 1990, I intended never to come back to Nigeria. That was my intention. But the duty to my nation refused to leave me alone. In 2006, I founded an organization in America called Odua Foundation to study the impact of Nigeria on the Yoruba nation. You should read our reports, frightening reports. Research. Finally, in 2014, we founded the organization in 2006. Finally, in 2014, we took the decision. We held a large meeting at which we said, well, the only true solution for Yoruba salvation in the Nigerian situation is to depart from Nigeria. To depart from Nigeria. That was 2014. I then sent a general letter that was circulated all over Yoruba land. Some organizations printed it and circulated it around in small booklets. Then in 2015, I came under enormous pressure by my people in the Odua Foundation that I had to go home. The situation was terrible. Our boys, led by Tinubu, had helped Buhari to win election. And as soon as Buhari became president, he threw Tinubu out into the streets, threw him out of the door. So we sent a delegation home to ask our leader to please hold ranks. And I was asked to lead the delegation. That's the first time I came to Nigeria since 1990. 25 years. So I led the delegation. And then a whole lot of things happened during that delegation when we were moving around, talking to the leaders, Fashion Antifalai, Adebanji, all the others, everybody. It became clear to me that I could not continue to stay away. And then Chief Mrs. Awolowo finally rammed it into me the night before my delegation left Nigeria. Called Mama the day before. We had called Nigeria. Oh, okay. And so we went to Kenya. And we Mama she came to family to forward me to she. Mama then began to say something that really drew tears out of my eyes. Mama said, Banjo, the gato law in 1990 was of nuclear don't come to me, you are a professor. So when are you going to do the things that your father will ask you to do here for your people? I didn't know what Mama was talking about. When are you going to do the things that your father wanted you to do for your people here? You've stayed away all these many years. When Mama kept asking that question until my hands began to shiver. I knew then I had to come back home. So Mama said, in a few days, in a few weeks, I will be 100 years old, and I will celebrate. I want you to be the keynote speaker at my 100 years celebration. I said, okay, Mama, I will come. I meant that when I said, Mama, I will come. I meant it seriously. A few days after I got back to America, I received the news that Mama had passed away. And there was no doubt in my mind anymore that I had to go home. I had to be at her funeral. I had to speak there. And he never told me what were those things that my father said I should do. but I had a clear idea. All around me, Yoruba nation was in shambles. All the proud achievements of the 1950s of the Awolowo era were in shambles. Everything was abandoned. The great estate in Ikeja, which had housed proud production companies, were all now in pieces. And most of them were at churches or event places, event centers. I went around to some of the proud things, that made our lives proud in Chief Awolowo's time. I went over to Pupa, the palm oil company, the largest on the African continent, was standing in the bush. It had been abandoned. The palm tree plantation still spread out as far as the eye could see, but nobody was harvesting the palm nuts. And only courageous local people could steal there in the nighttime and steal some palm nuts. I drove down the road to Oluwa Glass. It was in the bush. The plantation was engulfed in the forest. Nobody had touched it for decades. I went to Ibadan. There were some young men watching the gate to the Lafia Kane factory. And they told me, no, sir, we cannot let you in. One of them said, I know you, Baba Awolowo's son. I said, yes. So they told me, it is dangerous for you to go there, sir. Don't go there. Then the hotel, the Lafia Hotel next door that our government established, next door to the Lafia Kane factory, it too was locked and in the dark. And the two young men there said, Baba, hallelujah, no bell. So with tears in my eyes, I returned to my car. So I now knew what Mama was talking about. We had to fight back and recover our nation. There is no alternative. We have to fight back and take our nation back. And we have written a letter, carefully written, polite but emphatic letter, where we have given the president of Nigeria until the end of June to respond to us. If he doesn't respond, we will go to him with a stronger letter, and we will go before the international community. That is it. So we must be ready. And we will ask our people to start rallies in every town and every village. Nobody is going to be traveling around. No, you carry out your rally daily in your own town, your own village. And make sure that the international media as seeing us as we do so. And that is it. They have no right to keep us in Nigeria against our will. The right of self-determination is our right. And so I ask you, my sons and daughters, in this organization, in every other organization, everywhere, get ready. The big struggle is coming. The big struggle is coming. I repeat, the big struggle will come unless we get a favorable response from the president of Nigeria. And that's it. Thank you. It's not a question of whether somebody is, the president is Nigeria, is a Yoruba or something. He's a president of Nigeria. It is his duty to respond to our letter. If he doesn't carry out that duty, we will force him to do so.
Thank you, Baba.
Thank
Let's go to question number 3.
Question number 3, that is Ìyáwó Olúwẹ̀mímọ́ Adéwọ̀gà.
Ẹ kú ìpàdé o, ẹ̀yin bàbá àti ìyá mi. Particularly bàbá mi Banji Akintoye, mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ yín sà. Ẹ ṣé, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín.
Ẹ ṣé.
Sir, my question goes this way. In Nigeria, particularly in Yoruba land, some of our politicians and kings are employing Fulanis for their business activities, such as nomadic farming. We are aware that these Fulanis are involved in criminal activities, such as killing, kidnapping, raping, and other crimes. This is not good for the Yoruba people. What can we do about this situation, both about the Fulanis and our people who are harboring them or employing these people for farming operations?
Yeah, they are not employing them for farming operations. Fulani people don't farm. They don't trade. The only thing they do is cattle rearing. That is it. Then as for a few of them who are in the cities, the ones we call the town Fulani. Perhaps you don't know that there are 2 kinds of Fulani. There are the cow Fulani, the ones who live in the forests and are rearing cattle there. Then there is the town Fulani, the few who somehow have managed to struggle into the town, had some education, and the ones that the British raised up and made the rulers of Nigeria. Yeah, those are the 2. The Fulani have decided that they want a homeland for the first time in their history. In 2017, in the meetings of the Afenifere leadership, Chief Fashions' house in Akure, I raised the question: have we really? We come to these meetings and we talk about the Fulani and the Panyane war, the Panyane equity, or the Panyane Oshun, and the Panyane war, and the Panyane Okeogun, and the Panyane kidnap our council. Do we know why they are doing this? Is there any research? Have we carried out a research to get to know the fundamentals of all these actions? Nobody could answer that question. Then Chief Fashion looked at me and said, Professor Banji, can you do that research for us? So I said, okay, sir, I will do it. And I did it at 2 levels. The first one was to find out where the Fulani were in our land. As of that date, there were 189 locations all over Yoruba land. And they were trying to establish in each one of those locations a Fulani settlement. But more importantly, I learned that that was part of a general Fulani decision. The meetings, secret meetings of Fulani leaders from all over West Africa had started under Abacha, during the Abacha regime. And it was in those meetings that they decided we must now have a homeland. Our ancestors did wrong by not establishing a homeland, but we must now establish a homeland. The big question is, where are we going to get the homeland? And the answer came. The homeland will have to be Nigeria, all of Nigeria. And what was the logic behind that? The logic is that God has been giving us Nigeria little by little. We have been blind, we have been foolish. Now we're no longer going to be foolish. When our people came under Osman Danfodio to Hausa land, the Hausa were the largest single nation north of the Niger. And we were just a handful of people among them. But they themselves conquered their land for us and made us their rulers. That is God. That's God's action. That's God in action. So God had meant from the beginning that this country called Nigeria will be ours. Then the white man came later, soon after, and established a colony of Nigeria. And logically, if they wanted friends in Nigeria, they should have been choosing the Yoruba who are educated. But they didn't want the Yoruba. They wanted us Fulani who are not educated, who didn't want education. And they called us the friendly people. And when they were going, they handed the country over to us. Who did all of that? God. God did it for us. That's God in action. God made us owners of Hausa land. God has made us owners of Nigeria. And so we must now turn Nigeria into a Fulani homeland. I wrote this report. For my organization because I was 2 months after I returned to Nigeria, they made me the chairman of the political committee of NFR. So I wrote this report for NFR. In Kantamara, be fashion. On the whole, actually, Obama, we have done quite well. Of the hundreds of proto settlements that the Fulani were trying to establish all over Yoruba land, almost all have disappeared now as a result of the general hostility of Yoruba people. Our settlements was in there. I had to go into the bush, to go to some of those settlements and ask them questions. Somewhere in Yewa, I went to one and I had to disguise myself like just a local farmer. But I had about 3 or 4 boys with me. And I asked them, Fulani just spread out, see at the cows in here. Say I can travel on a fair set to CB. Now said to see this is our home. How did you decide that? I want leaders want to suffer one. There's a map, one map, country to one, and you come out of it, I love back. But there, you go better, you want them to come on, not destroy one, and take the land. So I thanked I thanked them and left. Thank God they didn't recognize me. On the spot. Hideout settlement. The man when he report me, hideout settlement. The original 189 hideout settlement in Yoruba land, including Kwara and Kogi, have mostly disappeared as a result of the general hostility. However, the Fulani are still keeping coming. And even after Buhari, they are coming more and more because they have the money to sponsor it. Buhari made sure they have money, trillions of naira and dollars. So they will keep coming. And they have weapons. As I said before, they have weapon depots all over the Sahel. They are determined to dislodge the indigenous peoples of Nigeria from their homeland and take over. And they are succeeding in parts of the Middle Belt with that.
Okay.
So we Yoruba must be ready for the final battle. Because the final war is going to come. They are going to come in larger number, in a large number. Well armed, well funded. Yes, we must be ready for that. That's all.
Now, Baba Frank, Samlatika call me. Ask 3 questions.
All right. Baba, Ajindara Maje. Ní ìdúró ṣinṣin làbóso àwo ní dùbúlà àìsàn. Ìbájọkùnrin, ìbájọbìnrin, tó bá ní tẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ yóò ní iṣẹ́ òní ṣojú yín, ẹ̀yin lẹ máa torórì wọn bàbá. Àtọmọdé àtàgbà tó bá ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe fẹ́ kó wọn kúrò lóko ẹrú, kò tẹ́ wọ́n nú, kò bá wọn lára mu, bàbá ẹ máa ṣe lẹ́yìn wọn ni. Nípa èyí, mi gígùn dẹ̀rẹ́, Ọlọ́run á fi jogún fún yín. Agbára Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ ti ń bá wa sọ, we are 84. As we are learning, as Baba is answering some of our questions, he's also giving us an everlasting history. Thank God this speech is being recorded. It will go into the archive of Yoruba Nation. But in view and in summary of what Baba has been saying so far, there's something that stands out. And Owo Amafishe Nkontowa Anwajuwa. So as a result of this, we posted our Zelle link. Ẹjọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin àlejò, gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ wa. The Zelle is there. Ẹ ràn wá lọ́wọ́, ẹ bá wa fi owó sí àwo. Tòótọ́ a mọ̀ pé ẹgbẹ́ tó ń jà fún òmìnira yìí pọ̀, mọ́ bàbá lórí gbogbo wa. Gbogbo bá ṣe ń wo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí, without even asking Baba, the history is coming out, the fact cannot be denied, that some Fulanis have got the opportunities and squander a lot of money. But at the same time, wọ́n ní mi ò ní wọn kún, èmi náà ní gbà láàbọ̀, nǹkan kan ló máa gbẹ̀yìn ẹ̀, torí àwa ò ní kúrò nílẹ̀ wa lágbára Ọlọ́run. So we need the money. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ bá máa àti post website yẹn, ẹ bá máa fi owó sí gbogbo àyín tẹ́ wà láti London, Koiki Media, àti ẹni tẹ́ wà ní ilẹ̀ míì, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, bá wa túbọ̀ gbé mega rally lárugẹ bá a máa fowó sí àti post ẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn ẹgbẹ́ mega rally náà gbẹ̀yìn. But because we know Baba's activities, so we are not going to stop the questioning. We just want to make sure that people are aware. They want to send the why Baba is answering our question. We still have 3 more questions. I'm okay. We know Baba was up for almost 4 hours yesterday doing some questions and holding meetings. So we're not going to take more than 2 hours of Baba. We just, almost approaching that. But Baba, we're seeking your indulgence that the remaining 3 questions is going to be asked. And we want you to please bear with us. So we are now going to go to number 4 question. Over to you, Otumba. Enjoy my Baba for Chelsea. Thank you.
Àwọn tá bá wà ní Europe, ó ṣe kí Israel má ṣiṣẹ́. Otumba Olúgbòdo wà níbí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, Olúgbòdo Olúwa náà dẹ̀ wà níbí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni Baba Frank, wọ́n náà wà níbí. Ẹ pé any of us. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ fún wa lówó láti outside the US. Láti fi whatever tẹ́ bá tọ́lọ́run bá fi rán yín sí wa. Àwọn akọ́rẹ́ la máa na ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló máa gbé mi. Òun la máa fi gba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ṣùgbọ́n pé ó náà ní ṣọmọ ẹ̀sẹ̀ lọ́dún. So question number 4 goes to Mumbo Yawa Afolabi Dayat.
Ẹ ṣé o, ẹ kú wájú o, ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, ẹ̀yin màmá mi. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì o. Dádì wa Banji Akintoye. Ọlá jẹ́ kẹ́ pẹ́ fún wa o.
Àmín, àmín, mo dúpẹ́.
Ẹ ra sàn. My question goes thus. We have observed that some of our kings are providing shelter for Fulanis, even though their actions are not beneficial to us. Also, the Afenifere group had been advocating for restructuring for over 25 years, but significant progress has not been made. We feel this lack of action as unacceptable. And what do you suggest we do about this, sir? Thank you, sir.
Àwọn ọba wa kan wà in the rural area tí wọ́n rò pé àwọn náà lè benefit from the Fulani cattle. So they let the Fulani come. They let the Fulani settle down there because the Fulani bribed them and their wives with some cows. And so the Fulani become part of the place. So by ya Fulani man, they want to be one. Initially in some parts of Yoruba land, but it used to be a lot more. Want to really ọba tí àwọn ọmọ wa lọ síbẹ̀ pé a gbọ́ pé àwọn Fúlàní yọ mí lẹ́nu bí tó ní pípa yín gan ló ń dẹ́rù bà wá, àwọn Fúlàní ò bà wá lẹ́rù. Àti rọ́bà tó sọ yẹn fáwọn ọmọ wa rí. But the number of obas who are doing that in Lole, there. Because again, general hostility is forcing them it's forcing them to tell the Fulani.
Observation of Baba. Next time when you come late to a meeting, you don't. Emma you come and be Sirawa. But as you go about sort of I need that to care anybody.
So some of the others are recognizing that fair. One that is so far Fulani come out. But there are still some who are confident and resolute. Tobaya Ama Wogmadasi. Because they are mostly rural kings, rural dialects, and so on. We can deal with them in our own good time. I want to need you. Educated people former big politician, former this, that, in Afenifere. They think that they are saying, in effect, where our Yoruba movement grows in Nigeria, all that is needed is the kind of structure of Nigeria. Part of their reason for some of them, not all of them, part of the reason why some of them are doing that is that they are benefiting from Nigeria. Because the Fulani instituted a system of government by corruption. What do I mean by that? I wrote an article about that in 2013. The American sent it to one of my former students in Nigeria who was working in the media. Publish article there. He called me back and said, Prof. So then they published the article. Send it to there how to publish your article in Nigeria. Here is what I said in that article. This is what I said in that article. In 1977-70. You know me, I don't try to buy interrupt.
I will mute. Daddy, I mute everybody now.
Okay. All right. In 1977-78, when Obasanjo was military ruler and plans were being made for a return to civilian rule, our Fulani came to a decision.
Baba, meet everybody. Only I want to have a sort of the phone. Aye. For me, 1 second. For me, 1 second. So that's. Okay. We are telling mute. We are telling mute right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Are
you hearing me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, so the leadership of the Fulani came to the conclusion. We say, Gawa Maki Bank, yeah. To try to stop Biafra in 1967. All on break in Nigeria, see many regions, 12 new states. That means that the middle belt to Jara North, they are having control Nigeria, what in law. We no longer have the population advantage over Nigeria. So how do we continue to control Nigeria? So they came to the conclusion. There is something in town, and that is the oil money flowing in large numbers. So they decided, okay, we will use that to subdue every important politician in Nigeria so that they would easily accept us as their ruler. We will emasculate, subjugate the political elite of Nigeria, all parts of Nigeria. Àyàn wọn ní ambassador a lọ ralé fún wọn ní Dubai náà kankan lọ ṣe gbogbo wọn yẹn Everybody are comfortable with the money, and therefore they will be ready to accept us as their rulers. Obasanjo knew about it. That's why he rigged the election in 1979. Tory Buhari will win, and I'm sorry, Shagari will win, Chief Awolowo will win. What the constitution said was that there will be a runoff. Rather than have a runoff, Obasanjo agreed to some shilly-shally calculation, 12 2/3, and made Shagari president. And under Shagari, the system began to work. Every government, every state government in Nigeria was in trouble because members of the government in the same party, one lọ gbowó federal government, Leko, la ṣe wà ń gbà yẹn, wọn lọ gbowó lọ́wọ́ báyìí, àwọn á fún wọn lówó, wọn á fún wọn ní phony contract. Wọ́n lè sọ pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe Operation Feed the Nation. Wọ́n ní ìwọ máa bọ̀, wà á lọ clear ilẹ̀ kó gbin ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ sí, wọ́n á dẹ̀ gbowó yẹn fún ẹ. Ó lọ clear alẹ́ o, ó lọ clear alẹ́ o, kò kàn wọ́n. Wọ́n á ní ìwọ máa bọ̀, a fẹ́ kó move lọ sí Abuja soon, a fẹ́ kó lọ clear ilẹ̀ ń bẹ̀. Wọ́n á dẹ̀ pé wà sign contract lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, wọ́n á dẹ̀ gbowó yẹn fún ẹ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ó lọ sí Abuja o, ó lọ sí Abuja o. Nobody is going to ask you. So that your loyalty to your own party, to your own men, to your own governor, and so on, became damaged all over Nigeria. I was in Senate, 1979 to 83. Nígbà tó wá pọ̀ jù, èmi àti one or two other senators wá get together pé kí ló wá mú corruption lágbára tẹ́lẹ̀ yìí? Even in my own Ondo State la ṣe ń jẹ́ ńgbà yẹn, àwọn young politicians wá gbogbo kóra wọn jọ, wọn ni ọmọ borowó làwọn máa fi dípò ajá ṣe. Because then they will be able to create the kind of government that Nigeria is, not the kind of government that Awolowo and Abasanjo and Ajashin and people like Akintoye. One man finish here. Well, I just but under UPS, one of Baba Man Kakiriaye. Kí ló rí mú bọ̀ mbẹ́ láti bẹ̀? And so on. And that's what caused the crisis. In Ondo State. I knew that was what they were doing, and so I was opposed to them. And they were saying, no, it's not Ekiti. You want to import the Nigerian system of government by corruption. So those said we will not allow it. So that's the that's what happened. The system is still running today. The system is still running today. Money is being surreptitiously sent around people all over Nigeria. One, they oppose. One, they oppose ibi tó owó wọ̀nyẹn ti ń wá. Fún mi ní omi. Àwọn èèyàn wa ò lè oppose ibi tó owó yẹn ti ń wá. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ̀tọ̀ kan fún yín, ìjọ́ kan èmi àti ẹ má jẹ́ kí n dárúkọ, torí ìyẹn lè jẹ́ kí ẹ lè lọ máa trace ẹ. Alori kan lára àwọn Yorùbá leader, very important Yorùbá leader. Òjò wá ń rọ̀ àti jíṣẹ́ tán rán wa fún wọn. Àti fẹ́ máa lọ bọ̀tò òjò wá ń rọ̀. Àwa farabalẹ̀. Ní mọ́tò kan drive wá lọmọ kan jáde nínú ẹ̀ tó gbé.
Ó dàbí fóònù ti wà freeze lọ́dọ̀ bàbá. Prophet. Fóònù bàbá ti freeze. Okay.
Yeah, ẹ jẹ́ kí ó lè jẹ́ network látọ̀dọ̀ wọn.
Yeah. Bóyá wọ́n á pè wọlé again.
Yeah, bàbá ti wọlé padà, ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá hàn mute. Kàn bàbá ẹ hàn mute látọ̀dọ̀ yín sà. Okay.
So that is the kind of government that's going on in Nigeria. It is still going on today. So there are many of our leaders, but there are many of our leaders. So for that reason, our Yoruba Nigeria won't hate you for saying it. Because pay owó tí wọ́n rí gbà from time to time wọ́n ní rí gbà mọ́. Nigeria is being held together by a system of highly sophisticated corruption, detailed and sophisticated corruption.
Thank you, Papa. Thank you, sir. Let's go to question 5. Otumba.
Hey, bàbá mi, mo ń bọ̀ fún mi ní 1 second. Ẹ ṣé jàre. Mo fẹ́ kí ìyá wa olórí Èkó wọn náà fẹ́ sáré sọ wọ́n ti nǹkan fún bàbá under 1 second. Ìyá mi olórí Èkó ẹ bá wa mute kẹ́ bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀.
Ẹ ṣé o, mo kí gbogbo ilé o, mo kí ẹ̀yin bàbá mi àti ìyá mi o. Ẹ ṣé gan ni o, Yorùbá nation ni no going back o. Agbára Ọlọ́run. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fẹ́ tọrọ ìyọ̀ǹda kan lọ́wọ́ yín ni. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi jẹ́ kí bàbá tètè kúrò kan lọ sinmi, bàbá sick. Èmi ni timekeeper wọn. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé mo ti wà lórí bí wọ́n pé màá sọ̀rọ̀. Kàn bá ti ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ṣókí ní kẹjẹ kan sọ̀rọ̀ kan lọ sinmi. Wọ́n respect náà fi wọ bí kò yẹ kán mi ìtẹ̀fẹ́ kan tẹ̀ attend the meeting kankan rárá. Torí láàárọ̀ bàbá sì lọ sí hospital fún test. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ má bínú gbogbo ilé. Ẹ jẹ́ kán sọ̀rọ̀ ṣókí kan lọ sùn. Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́, ẹ má bínú sí mi o, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Ọmọ wọn ló ń sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ má bínú. Ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ ṣé mà, àwa gan náà àfẹ́ stress bàbá. We all know what is going on. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣe mọ̀ pé bàbá tí bàbá bá ti fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ máa dá ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ wọn lẹ́nu bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn anyhow.
Ṣé mọ̀ pé philosopher ni bàbá? Bẹ̀ẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá ti rọ̀rọ̀ bàbá ò ní dákẹ́, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ kán dákẹ́. Ẹni kan èyí tán sọ tó kán máa lọ. Wọ́n bá ti sọ díẹ̀. Ẹ má bínú, ẹ ṣé.
Èmi gangan ni philosophy tí bàbá rí ìdí àbẹ́ ìmọ̀ yìí.
Ok, ẹ ṣé gbogbo ilé, ẹ má bínú sí mi ẹ̀yin ìyá àti bàbá mi, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Ẹ ṣé o.
Kobo. That's what it is.
All right, I will make my answers brief.
Yes, Baba mi Nicholas Tomi eba wa on mute. Can be the question, that should be question number 5.
Baba, ẹ kú ohun látàárọ̀ baba. Orúkọ Jésù. Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ máa fún agbára náà. Ẹ sì kó wa dé lórí náà. Baba, this is the question. We understand the importance of progress and learning from past mistakes. How can we or YSDM move forward and avoid repeating previous mistakes?
YSDM, the important thing is how do we move forward fast after we have our country? Oh yeah, there is a book that I wrote that is circulating now. Mass so that you can circulate it to all of you. Is the path to prosperity in the new Yoruba country. Path to prosperity. Everything that needed no more considered. Lara gathered a group of young men. I was talking to them about youth development, a very powerful instrument for national development. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, we are ready. We are ready to move forward into high gear so that within a few years, I want to prosperous, stronger you are.
Yeah, I just cannot see the last very question. Yami Alaga Adejoke ti Oluwa.
Ẹ ṣé mo kí gbogbo ilé. Bàbá mi mo ní Pírílólógó ń jí àjíǹde ara máa jẹ́ fún yín. Agbára Ọlọ́run. Ẹ máa pẹ́ fún wa. I want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you for honoring our invitation today. We are not really taking it for granted. You are a father.
Thank you.
You are an historian. And every day we keep on learning from you. I pray that the God will continue to uphold you, to strengthen you, to be with you, and for you to achieve the good work that you have started.
Thank you.
In the name of Jesus. It shall be well with you, Baba.
Thank you.
We appreciate you and we say thank you.
Thank you.
My question is, Baba, what measures can we take to stop the continued influx of Fulanis into various locations in Yoruba land, especially when the president and the Afeniferis are supporting and encouraging these activities? Yeah. What do you think we can do to stop all these activities? Because every day, 24/7, we keep on seeing this. They are coming in thousands. What measures are we taking to stop all this?
Yeah, our people will liberate themselves. Our people will liberate themselves. We are coming close to that point now, when the Yoruba people will close their eyes and throw all of this Fulani out of there. We are coming close to that. And one now, our Yoruba are ready. We are planning, we are getting ready. The time will come when we will soon be able to throw them all out of our land. Amen. And then when we have our trip, see, one of the first laws we are going to make is to make it illegal for anybody to rear cattle anywhere in Yoruba land. So I need you to cattle farming or ranch. Ìjọba help wọn láti ṣe ranch. Bí ìjọba ṣe help àwọn ará Argentina láti ṣe ranch in the 1970s. Yes, Yoruba land can become a major exporter of beef in the world. So, I'm a lé wọn jáde. Àti ẹ̀dẹ̀ lọ́kì pé àwọn Haúsá tó ń hábọ̀ wọn tẹ́lẹ̀, àwọn Haúsá náà ti wá yarí fún wọn báyìí. àwọn Hausa ti fún wọn ní notice pé kán kúrò ní Hausa land. And that is a disaster for them. So we are getting stronger and they are getting weaker. Agbára Ọlọ́run.
Thank you and God bless you, sir.
Amen.
Thank you. Mo dúpẹ́ o.
Nígbà àkókò yìí jù báyìí lọ ju pé kí bàbá wa Frank bàbá wa kí yín kẹ́ tó máa lọ kí gbogbo yín wọ́n dẹ̀ ọ̀bẹ̀ tí everybody now tó ẹ lè kí bàbá so then adẹ̀ wá sí so everybody can unmute ourselves now.
Ẹ ṣé Ọ̀túnba. Ó dàbí pé ẹnìkan náà ọwọ́ sókè mi Sàtúndé Ọmọ́tọ̀ṣọ́.
We are not honoring that.
Okay.
So ẹ má bínú kò ń ṣe tìgbéraga bàbá wa Túndé Ọmọ́tọ̀ṣọ́ ẹ̀yin náà gbọ́ nǹkan tán sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ nípa bàbá tá a bá ṣì ń rí wọn ìyẹn ló dùn wá nú kò yẹ má yẹ ká lò wọ́n tán jọ kan so Ọlọ́run ọba Elédùmarè ní tẹ́ ìbáráyè ìrìkwẹ́sàn yìí lè ní ọjọ́ mi ọjọ́ rí bàbá sì máa pẹ́ fún alágbára Ọlọ́run ẹ lè béèrè tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ any question tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ béèrè ẹ lè send ẹ sí wa á send ẹ sí bàbá adé return padà sí agbára Ọlọ́run ẹ ṣé bàbá Frank.
Bàbá ẹ ṣé gan ìyá wa tó sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣe mọ̀ pé bàbá bímọ tó pọ̀ so gbogbo àjọ ni bàbá ni àtòtọ́ a mọ̀ pé ẹ wà pẹ̀lú wọn lẹ́dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí bàbá pẹ́ fún wa ṣùgbọ́n báwa ṣe ń rí bàbá ó dàbí ajẹ bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú lọ́tìrì ni so alágbára Ọlọ́run tó ń ṣílẹ̀kùn ọjọ́ tó dẹ̀ ń tì í bàbá yà túbọ̀ pẹ́ fún wa á pẹ́ fún wa á ní fojú sunkún wọn àwa tá a dẹ̀ jọmọ wọn náà dẹ̀ rèé àwọn náà ní fi fojú sunkún àwa náà. Bàbá is a whole. I use the word moon ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ star ló wà we only have one moon. Baba is the moon that's shining in Yoruba land. Yes. We are taking him with care. And nǹkan tó dẹ̀ gbé lọ́wọ́ yìí lágbára Ọlọ́run torí ẹ̀yin olóòótọ́ ni Ọlọ́run máa ń wà. We've all learned the history. And we know if nothing is done, our generation, one way or the other, might be forgotten. But oúnjẹ tí bàbá fi ń bọ̀ wá ń sìn lágbára náà tá a bá gba Yorùbá, that's what we'll continue with. Check with generation unborn. I used to have a friend when Nigeria is good from Borno when we were in college in Nigeria. He used the word. You the Yoruba, Babati lo paraphrase statement. You the Yoruba are very educated. We're always going to make you secretary.
That's correct.
But the question now is, he has not said it that they were trying to enclave us. But now they are playing out what Uthman Dafodio started. But like the Afafada regret that Yorubas are undefeatable. This history Baba is telling us will live forever. Whatever it takes, Yoruba will not be subjected. Ṣùgbọ́n láti má gba àsìkò bàbá gbogbo lé ẹ ti gbọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ wa pé bó là ń kọjú sí ṣé Yorùbá nation ẹ̀ ṣó ti wà ń bẹ̀ bàbá ò lọ́bì kankan olóyè CSI ò dẹ̀ lọ́bì kankan àwa tá dẹ̀ jọmọ lẹ́yìn wọn náà kò lọ́bì kankan. All it takes is one person. Ṣẹ́rí when the game will begin wọ́n ní Jésù ní bí olè lóru ló ṣe máa rí. We have over 60 million Yorubas. So the politicians are less than 100,000. So when the game starts, èèyàn kan mo sọ́lẹ̀ kan mo ní àwọn kan ní wọ́n kún àwọn kan dẹ̀ ní gbàlá time will tell. So nípa èyí gbogbo lé ẹ bá wa kí bàbá kí gbogbo wa dẹ̀ fi ọwọ́ ká ṣàdúrà fún bàbá pé ẹ̀mí gígùn Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ fún wọn. Ní agbára Ọlọ́run bàbá ò ní jẹ́ Moses fún wa tán máa rí lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ tán ní débẹ̀ bàbá ẹ máa ń wá
àmín o
bàbá tó máa lọ.
Bàbá ẹ máa fẹ́ fún wa lórúkọ Jésù.
Àmín Jésù. Àmín o Jésù. Àmín. Àmín Jésù.
Àgbà onítàn lórílẹ̀ o.
Àmín Jésù.
Pẹ̀ fún wa o. Tó bá ń dùn kò ní tán fún yín o lágbára Ọlọ́run.
Jésù.
Wà pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ lẹ́bàá wọn ṣe ìjàmbá àjíǹde láwọn máa jẹ́ o.
Ìdájí ẹ ò mú tara yín
Fún àìsàn ló gbá
Ẹ bá wa kí bàbá wa Sunday Igboho náà o, wípé a béèrè wọn, Ọlọ́run á wà pẹ̀lú ẹ o, Ọlọ́run á dúró.
Àmì o. Agbára Ọlọ́run láìpẹ́ náà, ó ṣeé ṣe kó lóye wàá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ náà, agbára Ọlọ́run. Ọba kó dà ní gbogbo wa pátápátá. Ẹ ṣe gan ní gbogbo ilé o. Then vote of thanks. Ó máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa Adéṣọlá Lágùdà.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sẹ̀kẹ́ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣe ní mítìn nírọ̀lẹ́ yìí.
Yọ o.
Ó dẹ̀ dé Monday tó ní láti ṣe.
Okay. Ìyá wa Adéṣọlá Lágùdà, princess, ẹ fún wa ní vote of thanks. Then ìyá Kínkù Òtù, ẹ máa múra lẹ̀.
Thank you all for coming to greet this a special occasion invitation by Baba Akintoye. We thank everyone that was able to be present on this great information towards our struggle. Olúwa á bá wa délé láyọ̀ àtàlàáfíà. Àjẹ̀kí Baba Akintoye fún gbogbo akitiyan wọn lórí ìjàngbara ìpínlẹ̀ tafẹ́ fi gba òmìnira Yorùbá nation. Olúwa á túbọ̀ fún wọn ní okun àtagbára. Á lọ́ra ẹ̀mí wọn. Wọ́n á lè bá wa gbé ilẹ̀ lérí láìpẹ́ láìjù. We thank everybody for coming from far and wide. God will give you, the grace to enjoy the new nation. In Jesus' name. Well, thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Ìyá wa Lágùdà. Lágbára Ọlọ́run àdúrà yín. Ìyá wa Kínkù Òtù. Ẹ tọ̀pá bọ̀lù.
God bless Prof. Adebanji, Akintoye, leading us with wisdom, Yoruba pride. Oh, Dr. Chief Sunday, Adeyemo Ibosa, fighting for our rights, fearless and true. Oh, Yoruba nation, no going back. Let our voices echo, no fear, no lack. Standing tall, united we stand. Together we'll rise across the land. We've waited so long, but now it's our time to shine. of Yoruba land. We proclaim our freedom and let the whole world know. Our culture, our heritage, it's in our blood. Yoruba nation rising, unstoppable flood. Yoruba nation.